Good morning, everybody. There are a lot of interesting things going on out there, so let's get to it. First, we're going to do a review of where we are and then where we're going. So, where are we? We're in phase two of what I believe is an amazing bull market in natural resources, hard assets, commodities, precious metals. Remember what the three phases are. And in every bull market, whether it's stocks, bonds, real estate, it's always the same. Phase one is base building. People who have access to information that mere mortals don't, they start buying things when things are really cheap, and they do it quietly because they don't want to tell anybody, and they start taking a position. This can go on for years. Well, at some point, all that buying by usually really rich people gets noticed. That's when phase two begins. Phase two is what I call two forward, one back. You get the traders involved on Wall Street. They're not content to let something rise gently. They want to trade it daily. So what'll happen is you'll see two steps forward and then one down, except the two forward are typically kind of like an escalator and the one down's an elevator. Boom, escalator, elevator. But every high gets higher and every low gets higher. This is where we are. Many of you who were with us, you actually did get into this back when it was still in the base building stage. Maybe 18, 20 months ago, the chart changed. And we started to see this action. Two forward, one back, two forward, one back. And you've seen it since President Trump announced those tariffs. You're starting to see it amplify, aren't you? That up days are higher, the down days are lower. This is normal. And it's actually kind of what you want. And I'm as human as you guys. I don't like the down days. But the reality is it's strong, powerful action. And as long as we see it going with the right trend, we're okay with it. Now, somewhere out there, the public is going to get involved. Right now, the public, this is too scary. Oh no, it's too volatile, Greg. I don't want to get involved with this. At some point, the pattern will become so, I don't know, ingrained. The public will be okay with it. And then the way Walt puts it, and I love it, if you look at it on a chart, we'll start phase three. Now it looks like half of the Eiffel Tower is the term he uses. Up we go, straight, straight, straight. There are hardly any corrections. Most of the gains actually come there and in a very compressed period of time. It's so exciting. It's so much fun. And we don't want to bail out before that, but it's also the dangerous time because things that go straight up tend to come straight down. So just know we're in phase two. Be prepared for the knee buckling corrections, but the trend is still with us. All right, that's where we are. What's coming? Remember we said we had the playbook? This was maybe 3-4 weeks ago. We talked about Stephen Marin's The User's Guide to Global Trade Restructuring. And we said there are steps to this thing. First were the tariffs, and then the negotiations through the tariffs. And remember what phase two was? Phase two was the purposeful devaluation of the currency. The Trump administration wants a weaker dollar, and I won't go into all the reasons for it, but the important part here is they want a weaker currency. How would you do that? There are really three ways. Number one way is through the banking system. The Federal Reserve prints up a bunch of money, they push it down to the banks, drop interest rates, and encourage lending. Hey, look, interest rates are like 2%. Buy a house, buy a boat, start a business. That's the traditional way. So remember, that's step two in their plan. And what has President Trump been doing? He's been beating up on Jerome Powell. Drop rates. Come on, let's go. And Powell is doing the Heisman Trophy and saying, we don't want to do it. Well, okay, another way to do it is through the Treasury Department. Instead of pushing money down through banks, just have the Treasury issue checks like we did during COVID. Hey, good citizen discount, 10,000 for you, 10,000 for you. You can bypass the banks. We did it during COVID. And our Treasury Secretary talked about that last week in Argentina, of all places. They could do it if the Fed wouldn't. The third way to do it would be just an announcement. We are devaluing the currency. I'll make up a percent, 30%. Typically, that happens on a Friday afternoon after the markets have closed. The banks won't open on Monday or Tuesday until everybody sorts through it. But basically, it's by decree. You announce the devaluation of your currency. I don't think they want to go there unless they have to, but they definitely want the weaker dollar so that we can have more in the way of exports to make our exports more affordable overseas, and also to pay down the debt with a devalued currency. So how do we know they're going to phase two? Because you can tell with President Trump beating up on Jerome Powell. What does this mean to you? Well, if they're going to go for the weaker currency, that means things that can't be devalued go up in price. You can't devalue wheat. It is what it is. You can't devalue corn. You can't devalue gold, silver, cattle, chickens, almonds. This is where you're positioned. So if President Trump and Bessent and his team were talking another way, Walt and I would be re-examining our base case. But right now, the base case looks to be in place. We're in phase two of the bull market. Buckle up, you're going to have the shocks. But longer term, I believe we're in the right stuff. And with that, I will turn it over to Walt.